Welcome to another OU Insider Under the Visor Sooners YouTube Live, powered by Riverwind Casino, college football playoff bye-week edition of that nonetheless. My name is Brandon Drum, Parker Thune, Spencer Forsythe on the board as always. The crew is here. We're here to talk to you. We're here to talk Sooners football. We're here to talk Sooners recruiting. We're here to talk Sooners transfer portal. We're here to talk college football playoffs. We're here to talk the chaos that is college football.
We're just here to talk, in
No
essence.
super chat. Yeah, we're going to answer your super chat questions as well. All right here. Parker, what a day. I mean, okay. Yes, the Sharon Moore stuff. And I, on a personal note, I've known Sharon Moore for, 16 years. It's been a long time, dude. Yeah, this is hard to watch. I haven't reached out yet because I don't know what to say, but this is hard to watch. I'm praying for whatever is going on in that situation, obviously, because we don't know, right? Like, we don't know, but it's chaotic nonetheless. And there's going to be some windfall in the portal because of it. There's going to be another domino effect, unless they hire Biff Poe guy or somebody else on staff as the head coach. There's going to be another huge domino effect within the college football coaching carousel, which is going to create more chaos. That's already happened, mind you. It's been insanity. And the transfer portal is going to get nutty. And all a week before the college football playoffs kickoff, man. It's just 2025 has been... we were talking about it earlier. Can you remember a year that's just been this nutty?
No, I can't. This kind of goes beyond especially any coaching carousel that we have seen, because you have to imagine with the Michigan vacancy coming open, there's going to be a domino effect there, because I don't think Michigan's going to promote from within. I think they're probably going to go with an external hire. And of course, whichever external hire they go with, it's probably not going to be somebody from like the FCS or D2 ranks, right? They're probably poaching a sitting head coach from another FBS institution, if I had to guess, or potentially bringing in somebody from the NFL ranks, I guess could be another direction that they go. Jesse Minter, of course, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, was on Jim Harbaugh's staff at Michigan. There's obviously a blatant connection there. So I don't really know what it all amounts to as far as the magnitude of that domino effect, but there's going to be a domino effect with Sharon Moore's departure from Michigan.
It's going to be crazy. And we're going to talk about all that. We're going to answer your super chat questions. We're going to dive deep into what post-practice was like earlier today at the University of Oklahoma, where we got to talk to, I believe, 6 different players. So we will dive into all that. But before we do all that, Parker, let us thank our sponsors.
Yes, indeed, folks. Riverwind Casino is our presenting sponsor. You know where it's at, just off of I-35 and Highway 9, south of Norman. Riverwind Casino has been the OKC metro area's premier gaming destination for nearly 2 decades now. Almost 3,000 electronic games, table games, bars, and dining options, plus the best live music in the metro. It's no surprise that Riverwind is always a good time. Also, props to our friends at Janiking. We appreciate them. They are the greatest team to ever clean and a proud partner of OU Athletics, delivering spotless results and solutions from stadiums to any size business across the country. Check out which of their solutions is best for you or your business by going to janiking.com. This episode also brought to you in part by Prize Picks. It is the holiday season, the best time of year for sports, bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once, and while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there's one place where it feels especially good to be right, and that is Prize Picks. On Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose Flex Play, where you can get paid even if one of your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the power play. No matter your play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. And they put their users first. So all withdrawals are fast and secure. Prize Picks accepts most major payment methods, making deposits into your account quick and easy. this winter. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code OU Insider to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code OU Insider to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Folks, if you haven't become acquainted with Brunt Workwear and their best-selling Marin work boots, well, you need to, especially this time of year, because winter in Oklahoma means it's going to get muddy, maybe snowy, icy. It's going to be messy. And Brunt's best-selling Marin work boots are not only built for the toughest job sites, they're completely waterproof as well. So whether it's rain, mud, standing water, whatever, your feet stay dry. Brunt knows they have the best boots on the planet, so they'll let you try any of their products on the job risk-free. Choosing boots used to mean sacrificing comfort or durability. Brunt thought that was BS, so they built tough boots that feel great from day one. No break-in, no sore feet, because people out there doing real work shouldn't have to choose between comfort and durability. So with temps dropping and the holidays coming up, it's time to treat yourself or the hardworking man in your life to real comfort. Skip the throwaway gifts and get him something built to last. Brunt Workwear. Our listeners get $10 off their entire order with code OU Insider at checkout. That's bruntworkwear.com and use code OU Insider. Order today and let them know you heard it here on the show. And finally, folks, this kind of goes hand in hand, or at sock in shoe more accurately, with Brunt Workwear. Hollow socks. Hollow socks, folks. If you don't own a pair of hollow socks, well, I'm going to tell you in a minute how you can get your hands on a pair. But hollow socks are alpaca socks built for the field, performance grade socks made from ultra soft baby alpaca fibers, engineered for rugged conditions and designed to keep your feet dry, warm, and comfortable no matter where the day takes you. They're the only socks that will keep your feet warm below freezing and then cooled off when it hits 80 degrees. Made in the USA, over 2 million pairs sold. Once you wear hollow, you'll never go back to wool or cotton socks again. Now, for a limited time, Hollow Socks is having a buy two, get two free sale. Head to hollowsocks.com today to check it out. That's hollowsocks.com for up to 50% off your order. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. You can support our show and by telling them that we sent you. So now that we have that out of the way, let's talk ball, folks. And need to remind you off the top that if you want to get a question answered or you want to make your voice heard, do so via the super chat function. That's how you get your question or comment bumped to the top of the queue. Looks like we already have a couple of super chats that we need to hit right off the bat here, but you can attach any contribution. It does not matter. We appreciate all of you that watch, but obviously we can't get to all of your questions throughout the evening. We will get to every single super chat, though. That is a promise that we make you every single week. And Sooner of 918 threw us $5 right off the bat here, Brandon, and asked, is there any truth to the Ty Simpson injury saga going on? Heard he got hurt in the Iron Bowl. And yes, as I understand it, Ty Simpson is dealing with an injury. Now, is that going to put his availability for the first round of the college football playoff in question? I don't believe so, based on whatever. And look,
Yeah.
I'm not an Auburn beat reporter, or I'm not an Alabama beat reporter, excuse me. I don't
Well,
claim
you're
to
gonna
know
get killed
all
for
of the,
that one.
yeah, I don't claim to know all of the ins and outs of what the situation is with Ty Simpson, but I do know he's dealing with something. I do know it's not expected to affect his availability for next Friday's game. What you do wonder, though, Brandon, is how much it limits his effectiveness, if at all.
I, I mean, maybe, I guess. I don't know. Like, here's the deal with all that. Everything becomes speculation at this point because they're not going to delve or they're not going to expound on anything or unless somebody leaks it out. And right now, what we know is minimal. Um, outside of, outside of him having a limb amputated off, I doubt he's going to try to miss this thing. I mean, it's make or break for his team. He's a leader. Ty Simpson's always been a really good, you know, leader, he's a coach's kid. I, the funny thing is I was sifting through old photos today, Parker, and I found a camp where Brock Vandergrift and Ty Simpson showed up. Lincoln Riley was the coach. I have video and photos of Ty Simpson he got offered that day from Oklahoma. He was really, really good. Like, it was quite phenomenal to watch the 16-year-old version of Ty Simpson out there just slinging that thing. I think he may have been a sophomore at the time in high school. Um, it's just crazy to go back and look at that type of stuff and see where they're at now in their career. You know what I mean? Like we do that a lot just because of what we do, and we watch these progressions happen all the time. But I wasn't even looking for him. It just popped up, like because I went back to 2019 to show somebody a photo, and it just popped up. But yeah, that look, Ty Simpson, if he's not mobile versus Oklahoma, buddy, and he's limited, that's a problem. Has there been any like standstill quarterbacks that have operated successfully against Oklahoma this season?
I don't know how many quarterbacks have operated successfully, period, against
Chambliss,
Oklahoma this season. Like Trinidad Chambliss and
and I
Arch
think that
Manning for a
stops.
half, and that's
Yeah,
pretty much it.
yeah.
This is not a defense that you want to be limping into battle against.
No, not at all. This is going to be. I'm so excited. Took a photo today when we were leaving the player interviews. That place, I'm. It's gonna be electric, Parker. Electric. We got any more?
Yes, we got another super chat from Drake who asked, "Is OU hit the portal for a quarterback?
No.
Not a starting quarterback, that's for sure. Do you think we make an even bigger splash all around, not just QB as well? Boomer, MF Sooner, FU
Yes.
Bama." Yeah, I expect that Oklahoma's going to make a splash or two at minimum, and I think one of the exciting, well, maybe not, maybe exciting is the wrong word. One of the intriguing conversations that no doubt will start to percolate in the days ahead is who might Oklahoma be able to grab from Michigan if there is an exodus from that program, and there very well may be, given the circumstances up there. Now, I don't know who their next head coach is going to
Andrew
be,
Marsh.
but
Sorry.
well, and I would say there are three dudes named Andrew that I would be very interested in if they hit the portal. If I was
Yeah.
in Jim Nagy's office, which Lord knows I am not, but if I were sitting at his desk, Andrew Marsh, Andrew Babalola, Andrew Spragg.
Yeah, I forgot about Sprague. That's a good
If
one.
any of those three hit the portal, yes, immediate yes.
Yeah. Look, um, Andrew, two of the three were very, very high on Oklahoma.
All three were very high on
Well,
Oklahoma.
right, but I didn't know. I'm speaking for what I knew. I didn't know the Sprague recruitment like you did. I knew the obviously Andrew Marsh and Babalola pretty well, but I did not know the recruitment of Sprague like you did. So I would be speaking out of turn if I spoke much on that. I did know the other two. I know Andrew Marsh and his people fairly well. The relationship that his mom still has with the OU staff is quite interesting in a good way if you're Oklahoma. So just something that could come about if he was to ever get in the portal. Oklahoma would be one of his top choices without question and without a doubt because he wanted to be a Sooner. OU decided to go another direction and not take, if I remember correctly, they decided not to take an extra wide receiver. He would have likely have been said wide receiver if that would have happened. He ends up going to Michigan instead. But yeah, that would have been fun. I don't know that he would have played much at Oklahoma like he did at Michigan, just because of how everything lined up at Oklahoma wide receiver. But and I know that's weird to say because he was an All-American, freshman All-American, but situations matter, right, Parker? Like situations matter. And I don't know that this situation, much like Elijah Thomas, didn't play a whole lot this year outside of special teams. I don't know that it would have led to him playing like fans probably would have liked. Babalola, that one was really interesting, and it got down to what dad wanted him to do, right? If I remember correctly. Family wanted him at Michigan. His dad lives in Michigan still, right? Is that correct? Yeah, his dad lives in Michigan still. Um, right?
I No, I don't believe that's correct. I believe his dad lives overseas.
Oh, so, yeah, that's right. But he was born in Michigan, right? Babalola was born in Michigan, if I remember correctly. Something to that extent. There was a big connection. Man, all these kids start running together. But um, that one was really, really like there was a bit that we thought Oklahoma was going to get him. And then he went the academic route because of his background and his dad being a doctor. And so the rest is history. But what about Sprague? Please expound on that because I do not remember that recruitment at all.
OU waited too long to offer. If
Gotcha.
they hadn't, there's a good chance he would have wound up in Norman. They
Gotcha.
waited too long. Um, Took way too long to get involved. I think it was maybe April of his junior going into senior year, so like only a couple
Uh,
months before official visits, and it was too little, too late. It was March or April, and by that time, and he'd been coveting the offer from Oklahoma for a while, as I recall, but
yeah.
they were too far behind the curve. And he liked to fit at Michigan, and of course, Michigan won a national championship that year, so.
Yep.
Yeah,
Good for
that
them.
that was about the sum of it. He did wind up emerging as their starting right tackle as a redshirt freshman this season and earned honorable mention all conference honors in the Big Ten. So he can play ball. He's also huge, 6'8", 315 pounds. Big old boy.
No, yeah. There's somebody said, did I go to OU with Sharon? No. I just know him. We just know each other through this job and through football, but um, just people in general. Um, yeah. What's your overall thought on that Sharon Moore situation? Because it does have an OU aspect to it, just because he
I mean,
is an OU alum.
well,
And
that's about where the
yeah, but he
OU
coached. Yeah,
connection starts and stops. Like, yeah, he went to OU back in the day, but ever since he left, ever since he graduated, he hasn't coached at OU. As far as I know, the only time he's been back to OU was when he brought Michigan to Norman back in September. So,
hmm.
I mean, really, I think the only conversation worth having here regarding the whole fiasco of Michigan, and it is a fiasco, is how
Mm-hmm.
might the exodus to the portal benefit Oklahoma if indeed it does happen. And maybe it doesn't. Like maybe they go and hire Kalen DeBoer. Maybe they have somebody waiting in the wings to be the next head coach at the University of Michigan that's going to be able to keep the proverbial wheels on the wagon. We'll see.
You brought up the Kalen DeBoer thing. How big of a distraction do we think that's going to be this week? Like, if of all things to happen for Alabama right now, he has to come out. I guess they have a presser or something tomorrow, or I don't know. I was reading their board. Maybe they don't, but they said that they've got to come out. If he's really not interested, like he's got to come out like within the next 24 hours, be like, no, this isn't a thing, and shut it down. Like shut it down right here, right now, because it could get out of hand much like the Lane Kiffin situation with Ole Miss. It's just horrible timing if you're Alabama and Kalen DeBoer. I don't think there's good timing ever in situations like this because you
Well,
can't control it. But
I don't know that it's going to wind up being akin to the Lane Kiffin situation unless someone credible reports that there's mutual interest or DeBoer interviewed at Michigan or something
yeah,
of the like. Because right now it's just internet chatter. That's all it is. Like with Lane Kiffin, there were reports from credible people that his ex-wife was flying to Gainesville and flying to Baton Rouge to scope out the real estate situation and the schools and all that stuff. It's like it was pretty well known at that point that okay, Lane Kiffin is leaving.
hmm yeah. This is I mean, but still distraction wise, if you're Alabama, their board for one is going nuts over this, which you
As
expect
you would
fans.
expect.
Yeah, you expect fans to do that. but you're in the college football playoffs, and now his name's getting thrown out there once again. It was linked to Penn State, and he shut that down, talking about how much he enjoys Bama. This is where his heart's at. The Michigan thing opens back up, or Michigan thing opens up, and he's instantly the top candidate. And people are like,
And
I read was it Maize and Blue? That Josh Hinsky reported that right now that's allegedly the top candidate is DeBoer.
well, several have said as much that Michigan is going to target DeBoer. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean there's been contact or an interview or really any like all that is just Michigan would like Kalen DeBoer. Well, no crap, right? But I will say this, Brandon, when a coach's name gets linked to a certain job,
Mm-hmm.
it gets linked to a certain job for a reason.
Yeah.
That buzz, that smoke originated somewhere. And it originated somewhere from within the coach's camp. Because this is why, you want to take an OU angle at this. Isn't it nice to have a head coach that you know for a fact is not leaving anytime soon? Or ever for that matter. Like, isn't it nice to have a coach, a head ball coach that man, he's in it for the long haul at Oklahoma. There's not going to be anything that comes along that changes his mind about where he wants to be and who he wants to be coaching for. Like, don't take that for granted with Brent Venables. That type of loyalty, that type of devotion is a tough commodity to find these days across collegiate
Yeah.
athletics. And the fact that Kalen DeBoer's name is being connected to the Michigan job, whether he winds up at Michigan or not, his job is being connected to the Michigan job, and he is at the top of all of the hot boards nationally
Yep.
because somebody in his circle, be it his agent who's floating stuff to the press or whoever it may be, somebody in his circle is making it known that he has interest in that job. Consider the reality that over the last 4 years, Brent Venables' name has never been connected to any other job anywhere. And it
It
probably
has.
won't be.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's because no one in Brent Venables' circle is going to be floating stuff to the press or message board insiders or whatever that he's interested in another job because he's not interested in another job.
you'll he has the same DeBoer has the same agent as Brent Venables, but Brent Venables is at his dream job, like literal dream job in Oklahoma. Who do you think? Oh, I know you know who it is. Who is the agent for said Kalen DeBoer?
I don't know the answer off the top of my head. It's got to be
Oh,
either
come on.
Jimmy
It
Sexton or
is Jimmy
Trace Armstrong,
Sexton.
right?
It
Like
is Jimmy Sexton.
Jimmy Sexton or Trace Armstrong. Those
Yeah,
two
that's
dudes
true. Trace is
represent
up there
every
too.
single big time football coach, it feels
That's
like.
fair. That's fair. It is Jimmy Sexton. That man is going to get paid one way or the other. He's going to put somebody's name out there and he's going to get his percentage upped and upped and upped. And I respect the game, Parker. Can't hate on it. I respect the game. I only wish we had that type of control. That would be amazing. Do we have any other super chats that you can?
We are caught up on super chats for the moment.
What? We've all seen all the players that have gone in the portal. Of Oklahoma, if you're Oklahoma, outside of like Andrew Marsh, right? Um, who else? And he's not in the portal, obviously, but he's somebody we just talked about. Potential just because of the whole Michigan situation that could pop in the portal. Um, who do you think Oklahoma at least has interest in prior to the portal opening up? Like actively opening up to where they can actually visit.
Hang on, what?
So, like, who do you think Oklahoma, if you were Oklahoma, who would you be interested leading up to January 2nd, portal opening up?
we talking guys that are in the portal
In in
already?
now, in now, obviously not like hearsay like we did with Andrew Marsh
Or Cam Coleman, right?
or Cam Coleman or other people that are, I'm not even going to say because there's other huge names that we've heard behind the scenes that are just would make everybody's eyes pop out. But you know, am I wrong? They're crazy. They're crazy names.
Yeah,
There's probably
and
some validity to them.
oh yeah, some of that stuff is real and some of it is fiction. That's how it is every single year. But one name that comes to mind that I know Oklahoma's going to have a level of interest when he officially hits the portal is Andre Jordan, defensive back from UCLA. We've talked about him on OU Insider.
Hmm.
When you're looking at positions of need, I think obviously right now tight end is a position where you would like to have another experienced contributor.
They'll probably say
Um,
two. I know that. Yep.
you're encouraged by what Caden Helms has done throughout the second half of the season. Like he's given you something, no question about it. But especially with his injury history, you don't want to be in a situation where you're staking it all to Caden Helms, right? So Oklahoma would be well advised to add more tight end depth, and they're going to. And with the scholarship count jumping from 85 to 105, they've got some added flexibility there. But outside of tight end, I don't know that there is a position on this football team that you regard as a serious need for Oklahoma heading into next season. And so if they wanted to take another cornerback like an Andre Jordan, okay, great. They wanted to take another safety like Khalil Barnes from Clemson,
I was
right?
told they're not doing safety.
They're not doing safety
They're not doing safety.
at
I
all.
have been told that multiple times because I keep asking around about safeties because there's been so many big name safeties that popped in the pool and like there's no need not spending money at safety, which I get. I get with what OU has returning, right? Like you just
Mhm.
hey, a player that everybody is like super high on right now at Oklahoma that if he was to get in the portal, I think would be one of the more sought after players is Jacoby Johnson. Like Oklahoma, the last, and I've spoke to so many people at Oklahoma the last month and a half, and they've said of the DBs, as good as everybody else has played, he has been the most consistent and played the best and most physical out of all the corners. That is an actual thought right now in the Switzer Center. And when you go back and watch the games, I challenge everybody to go back and watch because I questioned it and I went back and watched 3 games. And I was like, dude, we totally didn't pay attention to that. That dude was an animal. On screens, he's flying downhill, just absolutely killing dudes. He's had almost 3 picks. He's had one. He's had 2 total. One at Temple, right? Or what was it? It was at Temple, or what was it? What was it? It was South Carolina, right? South
South
Carolina. One at
Carolina, that's right.
South
Garbage
Carolina,
time in the South Carolina game.
and then the big play against Missouri. Um, but he's had almost 3 where he got his hands on it, or should have got his hands on it because he was in the right place, right time. Just DBs, it's not as easy as people think. There's a lot of buzz for him. And I talked to somebody that is like knows the NFL really, really well. And they said if he will play like he has the last week or last 4 weeks, excuse me, the last 4 weeks of the season, if he'll play like that throughout the CFP, if he goes back to Oklahoma and has that type of season next year, you're looking at a late day one, early day two guy because of his physical attributes. The problem is that he's still learning the game of football. And so there's a learning curve with him still. So if he was to transfer somebody else, it probably would set him back quite a bit because he would have to learn a whole new defense. BV's defense is so hard and he works so hard to learn it that they said he probably needs to stay. And this is from NFL people, like he needs to stay. And so I asked around and I said, if you all could get Jacoby Johnson to return, if you could get everybody in that cornerback in return, will you take a corner? They said, maybe one. And they said, I want to make sure you understand the word maybe on that. Now, I think they end up taking one because I think there's going to be some attrition there, one way or the other. There has to be. They're
There
so
does.
deep.
Yeah.
Safety is like a spot where I don't think you'll see a lot of attrition, Parker, because those guys are going to play. They're so spaced out and they're going to end up playing and rotated. Maybe a Marion Robinson, right? If things don't go right, he's got a kid. There's other things that play into that, but maybe man, and that's it at safety, right? Like, can you think of anybody else at safety that you've heard just any sort of buzz? I can't. I expect man to stay. I'm just saying, like, that would be the name that pops up that you would think
Hmm.
because it just it makes sense of all the names. But
KRJ Arsenal '08 gave us $2. Thank you, sir. And he said right tackle, Babalola, right guard, Foje. Wouldn't that be a dream? Fasusi and Babalola at the. And you remember there's a time where it looked like Oklahoma was going to get all three, or had a chance to get all three.
yeah, there was. That was
Man,
crazy.
how nice would that be to have three dudes that are in the same class, mind you? And Babalola's coming off a major injury and will be coming off a major injury, so got to take that into consideration. But those are three of the most physically gifted linemen that the 2025 cycle had to offer. One of them would have started at tackle for Michigan as a true freshman. The other two are starting for Oklahoma as true freshmen.
Yeah, they're studs. I'm over here reading the the chat as fast as I can. And the one thing that stuck out is somebody said, OU is not deep at cornerback. What?
Folks, let me remind you, you haven't even seen Jeremiah Newcomb yet because he
Yeah.
tore his labrum in like week 2 and is done for the year. And Jeremiah Newcomb, if he were healthy, he would be playing snaps right now at someone's expense. I don't know whose, but he would be playing.
Tristan Haynes is on the team. You haven't seen much of him. And if you talk to people within the program, they're like, that is going to be an absolute stud. He's fast, he's long, he's athletic, and he's physical. There's a reason why Brent Venables talks so much about Carl Albert guys the other day. He loves every one of those dudes from Carl Albert. Trinae Washington is an absolute, they don't even know what to do with him because he's an absolute athletic freak and he's a tweener in so many different ways. So they're trying to figure that part out. But yeah, Tristan Haynes. Uh, who else is a freshman that I'm trying to think like outside of Cortland
In the
Guillory?
cornerback room,
Yeah,
Malik Hawkins.
Malik Hawkins. Yeah, who is really good. I mean, they are so deep. And then you see what they brought. How many did they bring in this cycle? 26. How many was
Just
there?
one, Derek Johnson. That's it.
Well, thank you. That's what I was getting at. I thought it was one or two, but that's my point. You don't you bring in more than one if you're not deep, or you don't, or you feel there's going to be a lot of attrition. They brought in one.
The Sooner in
2027 is going to
Iowa,
be deep, though.
the Sooner in Iowa gave us $2 and asked, "Do you see a little AD in Hatton?" A little bit. There is no more than a little bit of Adrian Peterson in anyone. We're talking about one of the most dominant high school football players in the history of high school football.
Yeah.
One of the most dominant football players in the history of football.
It,
Yes, he's got a little bit of Adrian Peterson in him. A little bit.
all you needed to do was, I'm going to do it anyways. I got to, all you had to do, all Adrian Peterson needed was a little crease and he'd whip you. Just whip every team. Moving
Moving
on,
on.
Parker.
Justin Cole gave us $5. Said, appreciate you guys. Keep up the good work.
Uh,
Is Isaiah Satania coming back next year? Also, is R. Mason going to play against Bama? R. Mason should play against Bama,
should.
yes. Whether Isaiah Satania comes back next year, I mean, he is the one guy that probably has the strongest case to leave early for the NFL right now. because he has been exceptional this season for Oklahoma. I mean, Kobe McKenzie said it tonight. He said, "Man, at some point, Isaiah Satania is just going to make a play, right? Like, and that's all he's done all season for Oklahoma. Is at some point he's made a play in pretty much every single game. He's tied for second in the SEC in receiving yards, and in many ways, Brandon, this is the closest thing that Oklahoma has had to Marvin Mims since Marvin Mims because
Yeah.
he makes his presence felt as a receiver and he makes a huge impact in the return game. I would say a bigger impact than Mims had in the return game because he was a decent returner, but he wasn't a good returner. He wasn't an electric returner until he got to the NFL.
I would disagree with that because I thought every time Mims touched it, it felt like he was going to break it half the time. He, much like Isaiah Satania, would get tripped up or something would happen. But you're correct. Like Isaiah Satania he's so electric. Like Kobe McKenzie said it today. He's like, guys, I say it every Monday. At some point in time during the game, we knew Isaiah Satanian was going to break off a big catch and a touchdown. He was going to make the big play for the offense. And lo and behold, who was the first team wide receiver in SEC? Isaiah Satania.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, as bad as the offense was at times this year.
By the way, quick comparison here, quick statistical comparison.
Okay.
Isaiah Satania has 301 punt return yards this season.
Okay.
Marvin Mims had 391 in his career.
That's crazy. It felt like he did so much more than that. I remember we got mad because they always fair caught. I think
That was also part of it.
yeah, they always fair caught the ball and it drove everybody nuts. Like, why are they fair catching? But that was like the thing under Muleshoe. They're gonna it was I felt like it was always for stats for his offense because he knew his offense could go down and score no matter what. And I felt like that was part of it. But maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. But yeah, he's a freak returner. He's awesome.
Glenn
Isaiah Satania.
Glenn Warshaw gave us $5 and asked, how many offensive linemen and tight ends does OU take in the transfer portal? I would think multiple at both spots. I think a lot of that is going to be dictated, though, by who OU loses in the transfer portal, if anyone.
Yeah, so I expect two tight ends, and this is just from just sourcing a little bit. I expect two tight ends right now. That doesn't mean they're going to take two. Uh, I just expect that right now. Maybe that's kind of the number maybe people are looking at that I've talked to. But like Parker said, Helms has shown out if it could completely change the tight end position, or like Caden Helms could have a amazing CFP few games. And that can change their mindset completely. Okay, we figured this out with Caden Helms, 100%. Just take one tight end, right? Like I think that's kind of where I think where Ryder mixes from his ACL also plays into that a little bit. But offensive line, yeah, I expect at least one interior guy, at least one, and one tackle. I think the tackle will be more of a depth piece. I think the interior guy is somebody they feel can come in and compete with whoever they have at the other opposite of Eddie Pierre Louis, whether it's Sexton, whether it's Ozida, somebody come in and compete. And if something was to happen to either one of those guys, that guy could come in there and play, and you wouldn't have any drop off. That's probably their mindset going into that portal for those two positions, which allows you to pay more, Parker, because you're not looking at a huge splash at offensive line, right? Like that's again assuming there's not a lot of attrition. That's always a caveat to this. So we'll see.
Welding Man 07 gave us $5 and said, do people not research before commenting? A lot of ignorant comments tonight. Well, thank you for not being ignorant, Welding Man. Mm-hmm. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I don't know. But thank you. Thank you for the super chat. I don't even know where to go with that. But appreciate the super chat. And I will say, Welding Man, you are not ignorant, as Parker said.
Yeah, I can't offer any insight on the amount of ignorant comments that have piled up because things move way too fast for me to read them all. But no doubt there are always a few ignorant ones at the very least. But we appreciate all of you, and especially those of you who are not ignorant.
100%.
If you are
So,
ignorant, we appreciate you as well, just a little less.
you know what's also exciting about this time of year is the All-American games.
Hmm.
Um, you and I were talking earlier today about it, and obviously we'll both be down in San Antonio, but that All-American game in San Antonio, the Navy All-American game, is going to be littered with OU targets and commits. And when we say littered, I think we named off like 7, 8, something to that extent. It's it's awesome. That doesn't count the combine, people, and that's the fun part about this is you're also going to have about 15 dudes OU's going to eventually offer at the combine and or has already offered at the combine as well. So that is always a content juggernaut for us. And we love it. I'm so excited for it because you've got targets like 2027 edge slash linebacker Taven Epps, who could be deciding around that time. We don't know yet his exact timeline. He just is working on things, and we feel like Oklahoma's in a pretty good spot there. I believe Devin Robertson is announcing there, correct? Is that correct? Right? I believe he is. Don't quote me on that, but I believe he is. Yeah, because he's announcing the 10th of January. So he would be announcing
Yeah,
there.
that would be at the game then.
Yeah. Really like Oklahoma's chances there as well. Like a lot. Um, you've obviously got Harmon, Elijah Harmon, who just committed, won't be playing in it. He's coming back from a meniscus tear, but he'll be there nonetheless. Who else is in that game, Parker, off the top of our head?
Jaden Petit.
Jaden Petit, Bo Bentley, Hatton, Jonathan Hatton.
Imagine that. Imagine being able to turn on the All American Bowl on NBC and seeing your future quarterback hand the
Mhm.
ball off to your future running back and then throw the ball to your future freakazoid wide receiver.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Um, I'm gonna go look because I looked at it earlier. And but just that game in general, 2027 recruiting in general, right now has just been off the charts for Oklahoma. So next 3 commits for OU in 27. How about this? Better than that because that's too easy. I'm going to do the next 3 on offense, next 3 on defense. Go.
Hang on, say this again.
What are the next 3 offensive commits, next 3 defensive commits for Oklahoma in 2027?
Offensive commits and defensive commits.
Correct.
Okay.
So 3 apiece.
Defensively,
Just naming 3 is
I'm
too
gonna
easy.
yeah. Defensively, Taven Epps.
Okay.
Um,
Rook, why you think George Toya is going to be at the Navy Combine as well?
excellent. I don't want to overlook anyone obvious. Taven Epps,
Mm-hmm.
Case Alexander,
It's a good one.
and I'll go Devin Robertson.
Okay, that's good.
Um, Offensively, how about Jamison Roberts, the quarterback? I think they get the
Mm,
quarterback locked in before too long. And then give me Gus Corsair out of the state of
mm-hmm.
Kansas.
Like it.
Zarek Sidney. Zarek Sidney is my number 3.
Zerg Sydney's a good one. Okay. Defensively, obviously, Epps, Robertson. I will say Ooh, um, I will say Darius Johnson
Okay.
because then he's supposed to announce here. He said he was going to announce here pretty soon. I like Oklahoma's chances. His brother is literally signed with Oklahoma. So I'll say Darius Johnson. Though I do like where your head's at with Case Alexander. You could also go down the line and probably say Gabriel Osborne's in there at some point here in the next 2 to 3 months, I would guess. Um, Offensively, who you said Robert? You said Jameson Roberts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I actually like that. I'll take Roberts. I will take, man, Corsair. Obviously, Corsair. You're two there. Um, I'm gonna take a. I'm gonna take a. It's either gonna be Zach Fares or Seneca Driver. Oklahoma is in a really, really good spot. Zach Fares says that his decision's coming quicker than he thought. He just visited Oklahoma. Um, I'm gonna go on a limb and say Zach Fares is my third one.
Okay.
There's I had I was close in my class predictions putting Seneca Driver in there and Zach Fares instead of Ben Kolar, but Ben Kolar is right down the road. They're going to take Ben. They can't not take Ben Kolar. One, he's too good.
Yeah, he's really good.
Two, he's 5 minutes from the campus. That's just you can't not do that. So, um, if he commits, I think you can actually get away with it if both those guys, like if Fares and Driver commit, I think you could get away with it. But I think you're only getting one of those two.
Mm-hmm. Super chat from Jacob Matthews. I know he probably wouldn't want to, but why not use Petit at tight end? I'd say he's more athletic than what we have now, and Sign just needs a few more pounds because he's not a tight end, Jacob.
No.
He's not a tight end. Oklahoma has Tyler Ruxer and Ryder Mix, two solid tight end additions in the 26 cycle. We mentioned they're probably going to add another tight end or two in the portal. Jaden Petit is absolutely, indisputably not a tight end. He is a wide receiver and a really fun one.
He is DK Metcalf. He's built like him. I don't know that he's as fast as him, but he's fast. That dude can fly. His stats in high school were, that's what I'm excited to see because we haven't got to see him in person, and you see all the great highlights on his film. And I'm just like, man, I got to see this dude go against other elite high school guys. But I imagine he's going to have a heyday. Wouldn't it be awesome? And I'm calling my shot right here. This dude is going to skyrocket up in the rankings because he's going to head top the crap out of everybody. He's going to out physical everybody during the practices. And he's going to make a highlight reel play in the game that leaves everybody going, how in the hell did Oklahoma end up with this guy? Calling it now. You can save this. I hope I'm right. Because he is that fun to watch on high. The dude had 3,600 plus yards receiving and 53 touchdowns, I believe, in his career. He had 31 of them this year and almost 1,600 yards receiving as a senior in Florida. Parker, he's absurd.
Yeah, he's really, really good. Excited to see him with my own two eyes.
Amen.
Very excited. This is
Amen.
Lee Bird gave us a $2 super chat and simply said, I got some Brunt gear / pants at Shields. Love it. Yeah, Brunt solidly. I got a pair of boots. I wear them often.
I like him. The socks are my favorite. I wore them the other day. They're warm. I know it's not Brunt, but hollow socks were awesome, by the way. I wore them out at 7-on-7. freezing my tuchus off, but my feet were warm. So there's that. Anywho, do we have any more super chats, Parker?
We do not. We're caught up.
Okay. So as far as did anything stand out to you post practice today? Like anything that was said? I thought Kobe was feisty, by the way.
Kobe was feisty, man. That little comment. And he didn't name names, but he said, "Yeah, we went and watched some ball in person this past weekend and
Mm-hmm.
watched the team that some would say has the best linebackers in America." Like, you don't have to try too hard to put two and two together there, do
No,
you?
no,
He was talking about Texas Tech in
he was.
Dallas in
He
AT&T
was.
Stadium. At least that's my interpretation of it.
No, he
But
actually,
that's
they were there. I know, like, yes, I just know he was there. So there's that. Um,
and he said they're not comparable to us.
I don't disagree.
Those Tech
I
linebackers are good, man. Like,
they
I don't
are
want to
good. No,
shortchange
that you're
them at
right.
all. Ben Roberts and Jacob Rodriguez, they're freaking awesome. And it
Yeah.
probably is between OU and Texas Tech for the distinction of having the best linebacker room in the country.
Yeah, no, Rodriguez and is it Robertson or Roberts? Roberts is the other one, right?
Ben Roberts, yes.
Ben Robert. That's a dude right there. Rodriguez gets all the pub, but Roberts is an absolute stud. He every time I watch him, he makes plays. Every game I've watched of Texas Tech, he's made a play. At least an interception or a big sack fumble or something to that extent. Like I think he may be better than the one that was getting Heisman votes at one point. That's just my opinion though. But yeah, they're really good. I just think OU's core is deeper with upsides similar. The lack, and when I was walking in, I was thinking about that. I was like, dude, how did Kip Lewis not get talked about? Like, how do you not give him a nod for? Did he even make third team SEC? Did I miss that?
There were a lot of guys, and that's just life in the SEC. There are a lot of very deserving players that get snubbed for
Taylor Wine?
all
What?
SEC teams. Taylor Wine was second team.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, Taylor Wine was second
Oh,
team. The
that's right.
guys
I was thinking, I'm sorry. I was thinking,
the
uh,
guys that you can argue got snubbed are Jaden Jackson, David
mhm.
Stone,
Yes.
Grayson Halton, Kip Lewis, Owen Heineke, Cortland Guillory.
I thought Halton got SEC, did he not?
He did not.
What did he get?
Well, he got second team All SEC from the Associated Press.
Yeah, okay. I thought I saw that today. Gotcha. Um, yeah, Jaden Jackson was awesome this year. Don't get me wrong. I think Jaden Jackson is an absolute stud. I think he's a day one guy, right, in the NFL. Like, I think he's amazing. I think he does things that helps the other defensive linemen make plays. I think he does a lot of non-stat sheet things that makes him that elite and that you have to account for him. Having said that, unfortunately, those all conference and all Americans are stat sheet, that plays a big part into it, the wowness of it all. I thought David Stone got screwed. I thought he got absolutely screwed. I thought our Mason Thomas was undervalued quite a bit. Um, Particularly, I was just like, was watching the All American, like I think it was Chris Lowe's on 3 All American list. How can you talk about a defense, Parker, that everybody says is the only reason why OU made it to the playoffs and not put a single person on first team All American? What is the logic behind that? But for Ohio State, dude, not saying they're not good players, but who the hell did Ohio State play? They finally played a good team outside of Michigan this year. What happened? They did not play up to snuff. I thought the defense played well for Ohio State, but you got to give credit to Oklahoma at some point, right? Like, I just don't understand it, Parker. And then Brent Venables not being named to the Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year finalist. Do you think that's probably the biggest snub of all?
I think that is the biggest snub of all. Yes. I
100%.
look, did he deserve to win the award outright?
No.
Probably not. There are several, like what Jerry Mack has done at Kennesaw State, what Kurt Signetti has done at Indiana, what Bob Chesney has done at James Madison. Like there's some stiff competition, but if you're putting a list of 12 coaches
Man.
together, if you're putting a list of 12 finalists together, Brent Venables absolutely deserves to be a finalist.
Fact. I don't understand that. Like you had national guys like hounding the Eddie Robinson award committee. Like, what are you doing? Like, how did what? Oh, you were 6-7 last year. Their over under Parker was 7.5. They have a home playoff game. If that's not worthy of Coach of the Year, I don't know what is. I don't know, man. I thought that Todd Bates did he get to be the finalist um, for assistant coach Boyle's award? He didn't make it either, did he?
I don't think so.
The best defensive line in the country didn't even make it. It's crazy. This stuff's crazy, man. I don't know. All right, man, we got so much to talk about over the next few weeks. It's going to be exciting. College football playoffs. I'm working on some special guests I think you guys are going to enjoy for OU Insider specials that we do. I can't wait if we can get those things on. It's not guaranteed. If we can get them lined up, it's going to be pretty awesome. On top of that, lots of recruiting, lots of portal news, everything. All you have to do is go over to ouinsider.com. You type it in your URL, and it pops up, and you go to our site. $1 for the first few days. We think you'll like it. I promise you. It's been so busy. We've had, I think, the busiest month in the last 3 years was last month. One of our biggest growth months in the last 3 years was last month. And that's because of you. And we thank you guys so, so, so very much for supporting us over at ouinsider.com. It does so much for us. It helps us get to games, cover the games for you guys, helps us get to all these recruit games, helps us get to all the events that we have to go to make sure you guys are in the know 100%. So thank you guys so very much for your support. Same thing here. If you like, subscribe, comment, hype up this video. That's a new feature here on YouTube. It really does help us. Helps us stay in the algorithm, get to other OU fans, and keep this thing rocking and rolling for you guys, and more content coming. The more you subscribe for free, because it doesn't cost anything right here at YouTube, the more we can do content here, which means the more we get sponsors as far as like being able to help us do more and get more guests and all that type of stuff for you guys. So it's a really cool deal if you guys help us there. So make sure you subscribe, like, give us 5 stars, whatever you do on whatever podcasting platform you're on, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Amazon, whatever. We thank you guys so very much for that. But that's going to do it for this version of the OU Insider Under the Visor Sooners YouTube Live, powered by Riverwind Casino. For Parker Thune, for Spencer Forsythe on the board, my name is Brendan Drum. You guys have a blessed night.